It is absolutely perishing cold. This is Lough Boffin. We are just outside of Dromod Harbour at the moment. There's a good wind has come up. There's a major storm forecast. It's due to hit later on tonight or maybe tomorrow morning. We need to get across Lough Boffin, then we need to get across Lough Boderg, and we need to have both of those well behind us, well before this storm hits. I do not want to be caught out on one of these lakes in bad wind. Our plan is to try and get up towards Drumsna, where we should be reasonably sheltered. Well, we're now into Drumsna Harbour, and the revised weather forecast is now saying that the storm won't hit until about lunchtime tomorrow, although the wind is certainly building up already. And bear in mind that this is river stretch here, this is not a lake. We woke up the following morning and all signs of the storm seemed to have completely abated, and we were probably lulled into a false sense of security, so we took time out and went for a walk around Drumsna. Dygon's also does food, while across the road in Thomas McLaughlin's pub you can be assured of a good traditional music session. Dygon's also has a shop attached to the side of it, which has all provisions, and there's also another shop and even a garden centre just up the road. I always have to admire the architecture here in Drumsna. There's some really beautiful buildings here, and not to mention there's a beautiful bridge too. This is Drumsna Bridge. It marks the limit of navigation. There's a dog leg here in the Shannon that is not navigable by cruiser, and you have to take the cut up along the Jamestown Canal instead. Pace of life here is quite slow, as you can see from this fella here. He's got the right attitude. So this is Drumsna Bridge. It's probably one of the oldest bridges going across the River Shannon. I had a look at it to see if I could find a plaque telling us what date it was actually built, but I found a plaque just over here that says there was a battle here to save the bridge and stop it being taken in 1795. So I reckon that makes it one of the oldest bridges going over the River Shannon.
And it's a real quaint little town. I mean, there's 3 pubs and a shop and a garage, but it's so peaceful. It is. And I tell gorgeous.
You, speaking of the 3 pubs, right?
Oops.
There's
our favourite.
Well, if you're a Guinness drinker, right, you'll know that some pubs do good Guinness and other pubs do sort of mediocre Guinness. Mediocre Guinness is not good for you. And one of the places we always go to is Liam Taylor's. Liam is one of life's true gentlemen, and his pub, Taylor's pub, is a must-see. By the time we got back down to the boat, there was signs that the wind was starting to build already again, and I was getting worried that maybe we'd missed our window of opportunity. At the end of that jetty there's this little small stone harbour which gives you a nice sheltered mooring, and that's where we stayed for the night. But we decided to unhook and head out, and we didn't decide, we accidentally created a little bit of history. This is Jamestown Lough. You may have seen us pass through here before in a previous vlog. Normally you pay with cash, but today was the first day that they were going to accept payments with the Waterways Ireland's smart card. And guess what? We're the first private boat to actually make a payment that way. I'll show you how it all went in just a moment.
Well, we see what you have here. Do you gentlemen want to come out and see?
Come on, we'll see.
Right.
Yours are probably the big wigs from Waterways Ireland now, is it?
Oh yeah, that's it.
We'd have to try and get a bit of video of this, see how it's all done. I was always taught by my dad that I was very unlucky to go to a lock without tipping a lockkeeper.
Okay.
Right? So can we still allow to tip you?
You can, sure.
When we give you the card.
But I'm the lockkeeper today. He's my assistant today. That's the way it works.
We have 10 units there.
Yeah, well, you'll find that one.
That's perfect. So no bridge charge. Deduct 2 units. Okay. 2 units deducted. You have now 8 units on your card. And remove and return.
Thank you very much.
My first customer. Come over beside you. Pleasure to meet Brian Cleland.
Brian, good to meet you. I'm Harry.
John Kiernan.
John Kiernan, good to meet you. Ewan. Ewan? Yes, that's a good name. Yeah. Good stuff.
Right, I'm
Take
not
care.
going to laugh now.
Better not go in there. On the first transaction.
So, having made a little bit of history, we headed up along the Jamestown Canal. And here you can see Albert Marina, just over the canal bank. And access to the marina is just below the lock that we just came through a moment ago. Then, at the far end of the loch, we pulled into the little mooring at Ard Anafrin Bridge. Here we tied up and enjoyed a nice cup of tea before we progressed on further to Carrick and Shannon. And along the way, we took in the town of Jamestown. This is the other end of that dog lake. So this bridge and the bridge that we saw earlier on in this vlog at Drumsna both mark the end of navigation, and the canal passes between both ends of that dog leg. We didn't pull in here now, we just swung about to give you a quick look at it. There's a lovely stone jetty and it's a nice, small, quiet little mooring. So it's about lunchtime now. We've been out since early this morning. It is absolutely perishing cold. There's a miserable wind
back on my hat.
blowing.
Sorry about that.
And we're just coming into Carrick and Shannon now. We decided we're going to treat ourselves and go for a Chinese takeaway. Well, not takeaway, try and go for a sit-down Chinese lunch somewhere, because anything that just warm us up at this stage. But it is really and truly, I'm frozen, you're frozen. Getting into the mooring here in Carrick and Shannon was really difficult because we had a howling gale blowing us in on top of the jetty, and I think there was a little bit more luck involved rather than skill, the fact that we managed to get in without doing any damage. That said, once we were moored up, the waves were just bashing off the hull, and it was like being inside a drum with some kid beating it. So we decided, for better or for worse, we were going to move back out and head up to Leitrim, where we could get into the canal and be out of the waves. Here we are. It's pretty crappy weather. It's blowing a force of 8 and it's blowing us right onto the jetty here, so we're going to try and reverse it off. And at times like this, you can kind of compensate for lack of skill with extra horsepower. That's pretty much our plan. We'll see how it goes. Okay, Guinnesses don't just make Guinness. This is Guinness West Indies Porter, and if you enjoy a porter as opposed to a stout, and I'm not going to get into the argument of what the difference is, this is one you should have a go at. It's a lovely, lovely beer. Don't chill it, just have it kind of at room temperature, and it's full of taste. I say, if you enjoy a nice porter, or even if you enjoy a nice stout, it's lovely. It's a strong taste. You wouldn't drink too many of them.
What would you give that Guinness, sir? Out of 10?
I'd give it a 7, definitely. Yeah, it's nice. I say you wouldn't drink a load of them, but one is nice.
Does it heat you up now when you're driving?
No. Nothing would heat me up now. Nothing short of whiskey. And I don't drink whiskey, so that's not going to happen. It is bitterly, bitterly cold. There's a howling gale. It's kind of spitting down rain. You know that rain was not proper rain, so spitting down at you. And the boat is actually heaving over with the wind. Not from waves, but from the wind. It's just not exactly boating weather. Not much fun.
I'm just going to show you the flag.
So after what turned out to be a much longer day on the boat than we had anticipated, we arrived into the village of Leitrim. That's the Leitrim Marina Hotel just there. We got a nice mooring here just above the bridge, and then we retired to a little pub called the Leitrim Inn, where we got a cosy seat beside a nice warm turf fire, and we were able to enjoy a few beers there. Tune in again next week because we'll be heading up the Shannon waterway.
Well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Cheerio.